Margaret Paleologa was an Italian ruler, Marchioness of Montferrat in her own right. She also married into the Gonzaga family, rulers of Mantua, making her Duchess of Mantua by her marriage to Federico II, Duke of Mantua. Margaret was the regent of Mantua as the guardian of her two sons from 1540 until 1556 in companionship with her brother-in-law family. Margaret was born in Casale to William IX of Montferrat and his wife, Anne of Alençon. Her mother was the third child of René, Duke of Alençon, and his second wife Margaret of Lorraine, daughter of Frederick, Count of Vaudémont and Yolande of Valois-Anjou. Margaret's maternal grandfather died 2 days after the birth of Anne. Margaret's paternal grandparents were Bonifacio III of Montferrat and Maria Branković of Serbia. Margaret was the second of 3 children. Her elder sister was Margaret Paleologa, who died when she was 21 years of age, and her younger brother was Boniface IV of Montferrat, who died when he was only 18 years of age. Marriage. In 1517, Margaret's elder sister, Maria, was betrothed to Federico II Gonzaga, son of Francesco II Gonzaga and Isabella d'Este, who later became Marquis and Duke of Mantua. The marriage contract was annulled, however, after Federico accused Maria of attempting to poison his mistress Isabella Bracetti, wife of the Count of Calvisano. The death of the father rekindled Federico's interest in marrying Maria, but Maria died unexpectedly in September 1530. Federico's attentions turned to Margaret. Having weighed up the various proposals from Margaret's hand, her mother Anne d'Alencon opted for the link with the House of Gonzaga, and the marriage was concluded in October 1531. Charles V, Holy Roman Emperor, had wanted Federico to marry Gila of Aragon, but the Gonzaga family refused the marriage. On the death of her uncle, Margaret became Marchioness of Montferrat in her own right, though it later merged with the Gonzaga inheritance. The marriage lasted for 9 years until Federico's death, at the age of 40. The couple's last child was born the year of his death. In total, Margaret and Federico had 7 children. Eleonora Gonzaga, born and died in 1535. Anna Gonzaga, born and died in 1536. Francesco III Gonzaga, Duke of Mantua, died 16 years old. Isabella Gonzaga, married Francesco Ferdinando d'Avalos. Guglielmo Gonzaga, Duke of Mantua, married Archduchess Eleanor of Austria. Louis Gonzaga, Duke of Nevers, married Henriette of Cleves, by whom he had issue, including Charles I, Duke of Mantua. Cardinal Federico Gonzaga, widowhood. On Federico's death, their eldest son, Francesco, became Duke of Mantua. As Francesco was still only a minor, aged 8, Margaret acted as his regent. Margaret had her son married to Catherine, daughter of Ferdinand I, Holy Roman Emperor, and Anna of Bohemia and Hungary. Margaret had her second son, Guglielmo, married to Catherine's younger sister, Eleanor. Francesco died 1 year after his marriage to Catherine in 1550. No children were born to the union. Guglielmo then became Duke of Mantua. Margaret acted as his regent, with the help of her brother-in-law Ercole Gonzaga. Margaret lived to see 3 her children, those of Guglielmo and Eleanor. After Margaret's death, 5 more her children were born, including Charles I, Duke of Mantua. Margaret died in Mantua on 28 December 1566. In 1574, Margaret's homeland of Montferrat became part of the Duchy of Mantua, after the death of Margaret's son. In Montferrat, Guglielmo was known as Guglielmo X. Ancestry.